Hey, what's up everybody, it's Neflarium with another Familiars video from Big Claw down, World Boss Tier 21 down, and the 18th raid. I'm only going to be talking about Familiars you might want to make and only ones that are from that tier, so no expedition and no invasion. If you missed my other videos, check them out as those Familiars will carry you through this tier as well. As of right now, Tier 21 is the most recent tier, so we don't have any new world bosses, so these are the last Familiars that you will get outside of events as of making this video. So without further ado, let's hop in and see what we have. First up is Gopichi, and this familiar takes a raid goblin, so it's not really my cup of tea. I'm not usually a fan of those familiars, but I wanted to mention them because they're interesting. A stat spread of 29, 17, 49 means they're set up like a DPS, but they're fast. They have 7.5% quad strike and plus 50% crit chance, which are both amazing DPS stats. Their other bonus though is that their first attack against them is always deflected. That does give them a little layer of damage mitigation, not something you usually see on DPS though. Their skills are pretty nice. There's Corrupt at 0 SP, Bleed Random and 4 additional at 2 SP, which if you've only got 2 enemies means it'll bounce back and forth, and Bleed Team twice at 4 SP, so you can get the entire team on Bleed, which is amazing as a DPS. Up next is Akiwa. A stat spread of 24, 23, 48 means they've got a little bit higher stamina than I would like, but overall pretty good. They do have 10% curse, which means there's a 10% chance when they hit an enemy that enemy will only be able to cast 0 SP skills in their next turn, as well as 5% bonus healing power whenever you heal, up to a maximum of 35%, and also 20% team enrage, so as your team gets hit, they get stronger. They have a ton of healing throughout their skills. There's a Cleanse Random at 1 SP which can come in clutch, but since you can't direct it, it can be hit or miss. And they also have Fury to the strongest and weakest at 3 SP to make your team stronger. Kak Fer'Khan is interesting. A stat spread of 13.5, 10, 71.5 means they have next to no stamina, but they're very fast. They have 10% purification, so there's a 10% chance when spending SP to gain one back, and also 25% ricochet chance. With the ricochet rework a few tiers back, that means all of their skills have a chance to ricochet to another enemy. It doesn't have to be a projectile. On top of all that, they have 30% extra earth damage. In their skills, they have a ton of root. It's insane, including root strongest and the 2 enemies behind them. At 2 SP, they also have Oxidize to cut through shields. The funny part though is their 4 SP seems to be the least effective skill. I just find that to be really funny. Their intense speed might actually work well though with root. You're going to be able to root the enemy very often by being the fastest person on the field. Up next is Flipulus. They're a bait tank from this tier. Stat spread of 70, 16, 9 means absolutely nothing is wasted, as well as 10% vampirism and 40% block, so you can max block and also get that extra vampirism in there. Their skills aren't super great, but considering their speed, I don't think that's really a negative for them. You're not going to get that many turns. There's Shock, which is nice, and then at 2 SP there's a Fury and gain 1 SP, but you have to get there first. With that few turns, you're not going to get there very often. The mythic from this tier is Roost Fera'Kraa, a stat spread of 32, 62, 6, and this is one of the most controversial familiars in the entire game because of some changes that happened. They currently have 20% absorb, 15% earth resist, and 5% redirect. Those are pretty good. The redirect got lowered and the absorb got raised. In my opinion, it was a better change, but I understand why a lot of people were upset by having lower redirects. They do have root at 0 SP, which is nice. They're not going to get very many turns, but they've got that. They also have Fury at 0 SP though, and I think that's interesting because you might be able to snowball that on manual. Give yourself Fury, which will make your next turn stronger to give yourself Fury again, and get that up to max, and you're going to be gaining SP as you go. They also have root weakest and 2 further enemies. Looking at their skills, using the Fury self twice in a row, and then the heal shield self looks like it's going to be the best combo though. They're going to get really strong heals and shields. Those are the familiars that I wanted to mention from tier 21. Roost is very controversial like I mentioned, but that absorb is huge. The familiars here seem interesting, but nothing that I really feel like I need to farm for. What about you guys? I do also want to shout out DungeonMast for helping me get the pictures of all these familiars. I could not have made this video without them. Is there a familiar that you think I skipped over that should have been included? Which ones are your favorites? Let me know in the comments down below, and good luck on your grind for the best familiars. You can also join my Discord linked below to be eligible for prizes, catch my newest videos, and chat with other gamers interested in the same games as you. As always, if you like this video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. And if you want more, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.